investigation. This boy has...
There is not, really? It is to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her on the side and where
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy
There
has...
is not, really? It is to me. Right, idiot.
I've done my best. It's hard, you know, that's real tough.
but I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
What's up? Don't say any F's and stuff.
Back at it. Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has...
There is not, really? It is to me.
True. All very true.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
You know, I saw some,
But I have to
what I would consider
There
disturbing
is no investigation.
photos.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her. But
It
I have to put her on the side.
So
and
after
worry about the
Dawn
boys.
was told by the court, the judge, the whatever, according to him, to stay offline, what does he do? He jumps right back online. Apparently, that's probably our fault for inventing the internet. So, you know, blame us, blame the people that are mean, blame everybody, you know? Watching from Texas. What's up, Texas? Blame the internet. Al Gore, you son of a gun. You're the one that did this. Don can't help that there's the internet. Can he? Nah, I didn't think so. It isn't his fault. He done his best, you know? It's hard. But one thing that I do want to talk about tonight, and we will get into it, and if you would like, we can take some phone calls. We don't have to, but we can. And you know what happens when there's a bad phone call. We haven't had one in a long time.
You don't like that call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
Corn dogs. No, blame corn dogs. That's for sure. Don controls his own phone. But does he control his own brain? Here's the thing that I want to talk about tonight, because it seems awfully frustrating. And I don't know if you guys have seen the photos. I'm not going to put them up, but there are photos floating around that somebody in the church is helping Don and Candus make that basement real nice and cozy. It's like building a crack, a meth lab for a meth head. Oh yeah, let's just make this nice and cozy with little, I don't know, stuffed animals and, you know, all kinds of crap. Jeez. Not cool. Not exactly my thought of, I mean, what are you doing? It's unbelievable. I just do not understand it, but I guess I'm not really supposed to, because it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it doesn't make sense to me. Don is a celebrity in his own mind. Well, that's a fact, Jack. But the one thing that I do want to talk about tonight is what crimes that we know of that Don and Candus committed that they aren't being held accountable for. And it's something that I've thought about, and hopefully there's a reason why they haven't gotten locked up Akon style. And by the way, it doesn't even have to be for the disappearance of Summer Wells. There could be many, many other things.
Hey now.
All right. And, you know, the more that you think about it, the more that you talk about it, the more that you try to understand maybe how this investigation is going. And people are saying there's nothing new. There's nothing new. No, there's nothing new. Round two. That's for sure. But I'll tell you what's not new. Delinquency of a minor. I'll tell you what's not new. Interfering with an ongoing investigation. Witness tampering. Maybe some witness intimidation. Hunter said he wasn't scared. Lying to law enforcement. Being high on cocaine or drugs while you're in the presence of children. Nothing. Nothing. I mean, when? So there's absolutely nothing to hold them accountable for. Right now, they're supposedly fixing up their whatever kind of room you would say that is, that has a hole in the floor that you just kind of fall through, and if you know you're not looking down while walking. I don't know about the shoplifting, but I do know that she threatened to blow Walmart up. Imagine getting banned from Walmart in Tennessee. That's got to be a really difficult task. Like, it can't be easy. You understand? It can't be easy to do that. But somehow she made it happen. She's very talented when it comes to things like that. And I'm trying to tell you that for some reason, and maybe they have a good reason. I don't know. I doubt it. That no charges have been brought whatsoever. Nothing. Not even roundabout charges. The DA said himself that there are elements of a crime. Elements of a crime. What does that suggest to you, folks?
All right, Mark, thank you very much. Normally, we hear from a district attorney general about prosecutions, but what happens?
This is 10 months ago.
When there's nothing to prosecute.
Tonight, we continue our investigation into finding out what happened to Summer Wells.
Listen close.
Ansley Daniels spoke with District Attorney General Dan Armstrong in his first interview about the case and what his role is almost 10 months in when no one has been charged.
On the night of June 15th, District Attorney General Dan Armstrong called in the TBI to help with the search for Summer Wells in the Beech Creek community. Now, as the 10-month mark is approaching, his role is looking ahead to the possibility of charges.
It's a case that has implications of the legal system and the law, but you couldn't classify it right now as there's no criminal charges been filed.
No criminal charges have been filed. There are implications of what? I mean, how did you say that again? I mean, it's kind of
implications of the legal system and
implications of the legal system.
the law, but
And the law.
You couldn't classify it right now as there's no criminal charges been filed.
That doesn't mean no crimes have been committed. What that means is there are no criminal charges filed.
Summer's older brothers were put into CPS custody last July, but no charges have been filed over their removal. However, their father, Don Wells, is serving time in the Hawkins County Jail over DUI and violation of probation charges.
This is a very complicated issue that has been made more complicated by the players in this drama.
Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? It's become more complicated by the players in this drama. Is he talking about us? Is he talking about them? I'm assuming that he's just kind of talking about the whole circus itself. And I'm telling you, he definitely is talking about Don and Candus as well. Meaning they haven't made this any easier on law enforcement. And yet, nothing. Not a thing. Sometimes it's nice to let the potato bake before you split it open. Don and Candus, by all accounts, have records as long as my arm. And yet, Don, instead of being thankful that he's not rotting in a prison somewhere, or Candus being thankful that she's not rotting in a prison somewhere, then, instead they go on to accuse CPS. CPS did it. CPS. They stole our kids.
No one has been arrested or charged in relation to the little girl's disappearance, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen at some point.
We make ourselves available to both the Sheriff's Office and the TBI to advise them as to the consequences of the next step that they're proposing to take and how we can do it to where if there is eventually a prosecution, it'll be what they gather will be something that would be that we could introduce in a court. Make sure we cover all those bases. And
if an arrest ever does take place, that's when Armstrong will look at what charges can be filed.
If it ever got to the point where we were ready to consider charges, then of course they would talk to me about what charges and who to charge. And a case like this would generally go to a grand jury if it ever got to that point.
All right, so it would the case would go to a grand jury if it ever got to that point. Now, listen. Obviously, the DA is aware of the situation. He's been aware of it for some time. And what investigators will do is they will turn everything over to the district attorney to see what they can prosecute and what they don't think that they can. Now, one thing that I've been revisiting over and over is the fact of this case when it comes to the boys and Summer. By the way, Summer was and is a part of that CPS case, and now she has her own case as well. But there's cases everywhere. It's like a Samsonite shop. Samsonite, I was way off. All right. So there are implications of misconduct, or there are implications of a crime. The players involved aren't helping. I would assume that's Don and Candus and Grandis. So the implications of a crime, well, we know that on June 15th, at least 2 crimes were committed that day. She being Candus, wanted to get to Hunter to find out what exactly he was going to talk about, what exactly he was going to tell TBI. Now, I don't know about you, but if I did that, I would go to jail. It's witness tampering, witness intimidation, interfering with an ongoing investigation. All 3 felonies. All 3 of them. Then you have delinquency of a minor. Now, I believe that may be just a Don and Candus misdemeanor. Thank you very much. It shouldn't be, but it is probably. I've read about it. So, why can't they charge them with something? Why won't they? Is it because CPS is involved and they're going to tie this entire case together? Because it is true that whatever's going on with the boys has not reached a finality. I'm not sure if I use that word right, but I'm going to try. It hasn't reached the final stages. Because once those parental rights are severed, then it's done. They have no claim to their children. There's nothing that they can do about it. I don't even know if they can appeal that kind of stuff. I'm just not sure. It's quite a grueling process to take custody from biological parents. It is not easy to do. Permanently, it is not an easy thing to do. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, who's at that house? Don and Candus. When Candus was living La Vida Loca, well, Don was in the Hawkins County Hilton. She was going to concerts and, she was living her life, man. She was having a great time. Good old fashioned hoedown. She's at concerts. She's doing this. She's doing that. So on and so forth. Blah, 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 blah. And what I heard was that, hey, I love Donnie, but I'm not in love with Donnie. I don't want to be with Donnie. I want to move out. I want to get away from Donnie. And everybody's going, are they going to get back together? Are they going to get back together? Like I care about that. I don't. Except the fact that they can't break up. They are up crap creek without a paddle, and their little whatever rudder is gone. The final domino to fall will be the kids. And once they're gone and out of their lives forever, if that is happening, it looks like they are making a major push to get that house right. They're making a major push with the help of some people. Annabella Roma says she actually named Don as one of the suspects. Well, that's true. Wow, I don't know if he's even heard this. Don, if you're listening, listen to this.
Man, I'm not 150% of chance of anything doing with this. I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. I have a lot of suspicion. I have a problem with Allie, Jose, Jody Sue, Andy, Donnie. I mean, I could list a whole bunch of people.
What? Who is that? Who is that last one? Donnie? Like, Donnie who? Now, you guys remember the story that Mary tells, and she says that Jeannie, her mother, Dawn's wife, Pam, were all at home, and Dawn was out of dope, and he takes a sign and tries to go sell his child, Donnie Jr., on the street corner by the bars. Okay? And that Pam comes home super upset and says, I just caught Don trying to sell little Donnie. I mean, my God. Is this recent? Candus wanting, while he was in jail, yes. But here's the thing. She can't. She can't leave him. She cannot leave him, and he can't leave her because they are legitimately partners in crime. Till prison do us part. And once again, I believe that their foundation is being held together by spackle and some duct tape. Melissa says they got dirt on each other. Of course they do. Of course they do. They can't leave each other. What happens if one leaves the other? And by the way, this would insinuate to me that both have some sort of guilty knowledge. I don't think Dawn loves Candus, and I don't think Candus loves Dawn. And frankly, I don't care, because the only reason that they're staying together is because they have secrets to keep. Imagine this. The boys are taken. Summer's missing, gone. I don't know if you want to presume anything, but I mean, we're coming up on 2 years without proof of life. Proof of life is a real thing when it comes to investigations. Okay, those are real things. So, they go through each other's phones. They talk. Who are you talking to? Don't talk to that person. You ever notice Candus gets really, really nervous when Dawn starts talking? Dawn's the one that smooths things over, and Candus is the vault. I got this. I talk a little better than you, Candus. Candus, I talk a little better than you. I'll do it. And Candus has no problem in keeping her mouth shut. Now, when she was popular and on her own, and, I don't know if she had quarters or not, and I don't even want to go there. She talked, and she didn't talk good about Dawn. She didn't talk good about Dawn. Matter of fact, she went on a show and threw him in the suspect list.
Man, I'm not 150% of chance of.
And by the way, there is one person left off of this list. Let me know if you can figure out who it is.
Anybody, anything doing with this. I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. I have a lot of suspicion. I have a problem with Allie, Jose, Jody Sue, Andy, Donnie. I mean, I could list a whole bunch of people.
But she didn't list herself. Because, and this is just me watching from miles and miles and light years away. Their mom's not on that list. Now, I don't know anything about, I don't know if Candus is guilty, but she was there the day Summer went missing. But wouldn't she be considered a suspect at least? I mean, you wouldn't throw her into the mix. Okay, you don't have to. Fine. But Summer's your daughter, and she went missing on your watch. The only people missing from that list are Candus and Grandis. Now, obviously, she's not going to say anything about Grandis. And then when Grandis gave the interview, she basically said, I can't speak for Donnie. And don't be fooled. That relationship is absolutely in the crapper. Shocker. Don is a nurturing type of human, and he really tries his best to, just kind of keep relationships open-ended and doesn't ever burn any bridges. He tries really hard at that.
I've done my best. It's hard, that's real tough.
And people will say, well, where'd Grandis go? Where'd Grandis go? Well, what do you mean? She got the hell away from Dawn. And it sounded like when Candus was out, or when Dawn was in jail, that Candus wanted it too. But guess what? Back together again, in the thick, working on the house. We're back. We're back, boys and girls. But not to put at least herself on that list. Well, seems a bit disingenuous. She didn't like Dawn. I mean, what choice does Dawn leave her? What choice does Dawn leave anybody? What do Summer and Rose have in common? Candus. Sure. I agree with that. I think that maybe, and this is just me, once again thinking out loud, that they really are waiting. Now, look, if they could find Summer, if they could find her body, they would not hide that. I believe that they have to disclose all things like that. They wouldn't hold on to that kind of information. Now they could hold on to for charging somebody, but I think that if they could prove it right now, they would. What I think that the best shot is obviously you want a body. You want to be able to look at the bones. You want to see if there's any major head trauma or, mostly that would be really all you would be able to tell at this point in time, this many months, year and a half, 2 years down the road. Because that way you could determine possibly cause of death. But, like in the Casey Anthony trial, cause of death was impossible to figure out because of the conditions. Now they had thoughts and they had ideas, but you got to be able to prove that. And for some reason, somehow, and I don't know why it annoys me, and it probably shouldn't because law enforcement let them do their thing. But this whole half-ass, everybody's a suspect, and no persons of interest. I mean, come on. You don't want to put any heat on them. They're not cooperating as it is. They're not cooperating as is. So why, Nothing? Not a thing? There was a lot that went into what happened that day. And the fact that there are two people that were in the car, both of close to average intelligence, couldn't even get right where they went when they went there that day. It's everywhere. The most important day of her life is a blur. The most traumatic day of Hunter's life is a blur. And they can't figure out who went where and when they went there. How is that possible? How many flyers were handed out by Don and Candus? How many flyers to date have been handed out by Don and Candus? These two are in it to win it. They want to get away with this, whatever this is. And what I mean by that is, I'm not accusing them of murder. I'm not accusing them of an accident or cover-up. But I am accusing them of not caring, because I think that's obvious. Was Don at work or wasn't he? You would think Candus would be able to tell you that. But, you know, it's hard to talk about people. It's hard to talk about people when you could possibly be scared of them. Don is a psychopath. Lulu gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Lulu. Fantastic. Now we can think that Candus or Candus had something to do with this, and you know, I'm not gonna go down that road with Candus right now, because if you think about Dawn and Candus, the fact of the matter is, how can they not be the prime suspects? Just like Candus says, hey, I wasn't in Wisconsin when Rose went missing. Well, yeah, anybody could say that. Do you, I mean, would you take her word for it? I mean, wouldn't you want to hear that from law enforcement? We pass lie detectors, Josh. Doesn't that matter to you? I never heard that. I heard that someone said that you did, or that, you know, you told people that you did. That's what I heard. That's all I heard. What'd you hear? I know what I heard. If you haven't, make sure to opt in at the bottom to the membership gifting. There is an option there at the end. There are some very lovely people that do gift memberships quite often. So make sure that you opt in there at the bottom. You have to opt in order to be selected for it. It's a thing. All right. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Now, lie detectors obviously don't matter. And in the conversation that Don and I had, they're not admissible. Well, why not? Well, usually the people that need to take those kinds of tests have typically And by the way, law enforcement can look at one and what they can do is they could go, hey, like this lie detector, I mean, it looks really clean. I think that we should focus in other areas, and they move on. But that doesn't mean that they can't come back. That ruling people out means nothing. By the way, nobody's been ruled out. The problem is nobody's been ruled in. And I would submit to you today, if you had to pick 2 suspects out of this case, who would you pick? Now, some of you have your sights set on Candus. Some of you have your sights set on Candus, and all of us, well, I wouldn't say all of us, but, a lot of people really dislike Dawn. All right. I would go parents first, not grandparents, not grandparents. I wouldn't say that. Okay. But how do you not look at the parents first? And how do you not go, hey, the parents are cooperating with us? Now you tell me, say you're a Dawn and Candus supporter, all right? Say you're on the fence. Say you don't know. All fair. All fair. Let me make sure I get these here. Kelly Sloan, thank you so much. And Amy W918, what's going on? Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. They're covering for each other for whatever reason. All right. And it says here, Rach says, I can't get to that. Son of a gun. Highlighted chat, move it over here. To opt in, forgive, hit the $sign in the chat box, membership at the bottom. 3 dots on the upper left, gift, setting, 3 down. At least on the Android, she says. Thank you. At least there. Psychopaths and sociopaths pass lie detector test. That's true. Ronnie Lawson, like him, hate him, I don't care how you feel about him. Let me just say that, because we all feel a different way. But he's clearly stated that they are absolutely not cooperating and that they've lawyered up. Dawn and Candus. See, here's the other thing. We don't even know if they actually have lawyered up. We don't even know that. How is that content? Like how is that not like sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered? How is that not something that we know, that anybody knows? It's just a lawyer. I would have a lawyer. Wouldn't you have a lawyer? I certainly would. I would have a lawyer. Now I get it. People say, well, but Josh, why get a lawyer if you're not guilty? All right, well, whatever. I'm kind of with that. I kind of understand what you're saying, but I'm not necessarily with you. I think, lawyers are there for a reason, but we can't even get the answer to if Dawn and Candus have a lawyer. We can't even get that answer. Oh, but we can from Ronnie Lawson. But we can from Detective Pruitt. But we can from Candus, or from Candus. But we can from Dawn too. Except they're saying the complete opposite things. the fact of the matter is that Candus absolutely probed Hunter for information. She wanted to know what he was going to tell TBI, and she wanted to tell him not to tell about the vapes and the alcohol. She said that. According to Hunter. And Celeste gifted 5 lab memberships. Thank you so much. And all new members, welcome. Sleuthing Sandy says, you're great at keeping Summer's case on the forefront. Thanks, Josh. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Very, very much. Momo Shark in the house. Peas in a pod. Giving to minors. Well, Mohawk Mom, I mean, that's a great question. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Cindy, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey. Why? That's the question I'm asking. Why? Why? Wouldn't we be curious? I mean, the clarification on this by the DA has always been, like everything else in this case, loosey-goosey.
The possibility of charges.
It's a case that has implications of the legal system and the law, but you couldn't classify it right now as there's no criminal charges been filed.
Summer's older brothers were put into CPS custody last July, but no charges have been filed over their removal. However, their father, Don Wells, is serving time in the Hawkins County Jail over DUI and violation of probation charges.
This is a very complicated issue that has been made more complicated by the players in this drama.
No one has been arrested or charged in relation to the little girl's disappearance, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen at some point.
We make ourselves available to both the Sheriff's Office and the TBI to advise them as to the consequences of the next step that they're proposing to take and how we can do it to where if there is eventually.
Now, I want to say this because I'm not 100% Gucci on this whole thing, but let me just. So CPS does not actually criminally charge parents, if I'm understanding this correct, that they give this to the prosecutors and they decide, along with the DA, whether or not they can be charged for certain things. Now, that can't happen until it's done. And they have to wait until that case is solved or closed or whatever. But it would be hard for me to understand how somebody or some people could have 3 children removed and 1 missing, a history of losing their children in the past, and yet they walk free as I do or you do or anybody else. Yeah, so any CPS, it's my understanding Ellie and the DA, like Don B said, yes. So that would be how it works. They can lose all those children. These aren't misdemeanors. These aren't so and so. See, Don B says right here, make it make sense that they can even have a chance at getting the kids back. Don B, if I could make sense of that for you, my friend, I would. But I struggle with that myself. And the fact that I'm seeing the pictures that I'm seeing of this happy-go-lucky family working on their house as if there is an actual chance that somehow, some way, they may be able to get their children, these boys, back, even if it is some sort of propaganda video. Hey, look what we're doing. And this is what I expect to happen here, folks. What I expect to happen is when they lose custody of their children, of their boys, they're going to say, we did everything that was asked. The system is rigged and it is wrong. And we did what you asked. And that, to me, is where this is going. That way, they can play the sympathy card even further. Guys, didn't look at the pictures of our house. We've done all this work. They didn't let us have our kids back, and we did everything that they asked us to do. Strawberry Kisses says we have to keep talking about Summer or they will let the case go cold. It's happened before. It's happened before. Kelly S. says they didn't do crap, and I'm not saying that they did, but I've seen pictures of their basement in the last couple days. And they're trying to make progress on it, but what I think is that this is nothing more than a propaganda stunt to try to fool the good-hearted humans of the world by saying, look, we did what we can. We always do what we can. They took our children, and they were never going to give them back. And guess what? That's a load of crap. I mean, I guess I can. Sure. I don't care. These are courtesy of Don B. Let me take a look. And this is your fault, Don. Don, do I have permission to show these? These came from you, Don. Please advise, Don. Don B, if you're out there, please advise. This is 51 to 5150. Don B, if you're out there, please confirm. Did Don B leave? We got another new member, Rach Just Rach in the house. What's up, Rach Just Rach? All right, I'm gonna take this as a. I don't really. Let me just make sure that there's nothing on here that. Who's this? Hold on. What happened here? Did somebody just gift 5 membos? Fun to ski? What's up? All right, check this out. What does that mean, no source? Dawn, don't leave me hanging like that, dog. Come on. No source? What does that mean? Come on now, don't do me like that. I don't know what that... I really don't... Does that mean yes? Does that mean no? Should I not? No source or no? No source from Don B. I don't know what... What? I'm not saying where'd you get it from. I'm not asking you where you got it from. I'm just asking if I can show the picture. It doesn't show any... It doesn't... Okay, I mean, it's fine. I'm not asking him to name the source. Okay, well, I just thought yesterday when you sent it that you wanted me to show it, and I didn't yesterday, but that's fine. I got no issues there. I'm just confused about no source. I don't want your source. I'm just gonna show the picture. But if the picture, and if that gives away your source, then I don't want to do that either. Who gifted? Melissa, Manis, and more. What's up? All right, yeah, no. If it's a no, it's a no. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Let's see. Right here it says, how could they even consider these boys going back to them? I'm just Karen says, having a bad pain day, need a distraction. Let's go. What the heck was that? Don B, I'm not asking. I'm just asking if the question is, can I show the picture? That's it. That's it. But we're going to move on because I'm getting confused myself. And pretty soon, your source will be out there. I'll let you do that if that's what you want to do. Spiked tea? Who does that? Who's drinking spiked tea? You can show the pictures, you sent them to you. Yeah, I kind of got in trouble for that the other day or yesterday on accident. And yesterday's was a complete accident. Show the picture? Don't show the picture. Show the picture? Don't show the picture. Show the picture? Don't show the picture. That's it. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, no, I just thought that's why they were shared. That's it. It's okay. Don't. I'm glad that we asked. Don, hold on one second. Don B. I hate. Don, if you're not busy, can you call this number really fast and we can get some clarification? Because I really, really, really don't want to screw you up. I know he said show it, but like he's being pressured by everybody. Let's just calm down. I want to hear a definitive. And if he says no, that's perfectly fine. He's allowed to say no. All right, leave Don B alone. I didn't mean to put him in a corner like that. That's not cool. And I do apologize for that. Don B's a friend of the show, okay? Maybe because Josh gave the permission. He said yes. I just, 30 seconds will clear this whole thing up. Because I feel bad. I hate doing that. I just stuck my foot in my mouth, and it's really hard to pull it out. Help me pull it out, Don. And we don't have to talk about your source. We don't have to talk about anything. All we got to talk, yes or no. If you don't want me to show it, I won't show it. I know you said yes in the chat, but I cannot abide by that. I know how the peer pressure goes. Yeah, I did kind of put Don B in a corner. That's not cool. I'm sorry about that. Let me see. Hopefully this is Don here. Don, that you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to put you in a corner. I really didn't.
No, the only problem is my source is very close to Robin, and she even knows people in the church that Dawn goes to. And she's even providing me with information on Robin and everybody, even as of today. So if she gets exposed, then there goes that information coming to me that I could turn into TBI.
Yeah. So, okay, no, and I understand. There's nobody. It's just the picture of them holding the dresser, putting the dresser up, and she. I don't know, Donnie's in it, and that some other fella, but I won't put it up.
They'll know. I don't know how many people Robin has shared that picture with.
Well, I
if
thought
she
it was
only shared it with my source.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was on Facebook,
is
but
it on
no.
Facebook?
We're good. Huh? What's that?
Oh, if Robin has already made the pictures public, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't know if she has. That's the problem. But I thought that it was on Facebook. But can I just take the guy out of that and just show Donnie?
Well, you know what? I have already said in the chat that it's somebody that knows Robin. My source is somebody that knows Robin. I said that in the chat, and I'm sure that's going to get back to her.
Okay,
so
I will not show
you can go ahead and show the picture.
Oh, I can now?
No.
I don't want you to
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm sure what I said in the chat is going to get back to her now anyway.
Yeah, well, that's my fault. I shouldn't have, I didn't mean to put you in a corner like that. I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to show it. It's nothing.
I'm going to leave it up to you.
No, I'm not going to show it. It's just nothing more, Don. It's just nothing more than them working on the basement, though, correct?
Yeah, and see, the thing is, too, that, my sources are, it's just weird. Why are they putting furniture in Summer's bedroom if she's missing?
Yeah, I have no idea.
And that is the behavioral information that I turned over to TBI.
Interesting. Nobody's missing anything. It's not like some explosive picture. You're not going to find out where Summer is from the picture. It's nothing important. It's just them like rolling the walls with paint. That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to show it. I apologize for putting you in the corner like that. I just thought yesterday when you sent it to me that like you were wanting me to show it, and I didn't show it yesterday because I was like,
No, I was wanting you to see. I was wanting you to see how much Robin is actually still helping them out.
Well, that was kind of that was kind of the point. I think that it's just, and it's a lot, right?
From my information, she spent half her. My source told me she spent a lot of her 401k money on the Welses.
I hope that's not
That's
true.
Suspicious, dude.
I just hope that's not true.
She told my source, she said, please do not tell anybody, but I spent almost half my retirement helping them out.
Oh, no. And then you just told me.
So,
yikes.
Well, I mean, I can trust you, but I mean.
Well, yeah, there's 1,300 people watching, though.
Are they listening to me?
I hope not. Yeah, I mean, you didn't know you were on the air?
That just goes. No, but that just goes to show you how deep some people are in with them.
I know. It's terrible. Well, look, okay. I appreciate it. I'm not going to show it, but yeah, sorry for putting you in a corner. Nobody be mean to Dawn. And I'm sorry, dude. I really, I hate that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in.
We're good, dude.
You were on the air. You knew that, right?
No, that's okay. It's all good, dude. It's all good.
What a disaster.
It's all good, dude.
Okay. All right, man. I'm sorry. I'll get a hold of you later.
I'm okay. No, we're good. We're good, dude. We're good.
Okay. All right. Take care.
It'll take more than that to come. It's going to take more than that to come between me and you.
I appreciate it, man. I just I thought when I was saying, hey, can you call this number? Okay. Yeah. Anyway. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. See you. Bye.
Well, what do you... I hate live shows. No, take this part off the live, or private it. Well, it's going to be hard. There's 1,300 people watching. Yeah, and it is it is the call-in number. I like him, man. Somebody's calling. I don't. Oh, let's see.
Hi, Josh.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Oh man, we're doing great over here.
Well, it's good to hear that your show is doing well and it's presentable and not a lot of cuss words, and it's a pleasure to have you do this show. I'm looking for the video of Candus. It's about 8 months old. She's obviously intoxicated, and she's crying, and she confesses to hurting the kids. She says, "I'll never hurt the kids again. I won't drink anymore." I think it was on one of Benny's shows. I'm not sure, but I can't find it. But it's out there. And then it's still up, but maybe one of your mods could find it. It's 8 to 10 months. It's way back, but anyway, it was when she was drinking quite a bit, and she was on his show by herself, And I'm just hoping to find it because she almost confesses that she hurt the kids. And
interesting.
Then I wanted to ask you a question. Well, I'll make a statement, I guess, and then you can reply, if you would, please. If I found Summer today, I don't think I would turn her over to Hawkins County. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you probably go to prison.
Oh my God!
Since she's an Amber Alert, there's an Amber Alert out for her. What do you don't trust them?
Well, I'm wondering about Hawkins County and how they run things. It isn't that I don't trust the higher uppers, like Candus says. It just seems to me that Hawkins County has a lot of missing people, and it doesn't get solved. I don't know how many cases that have been reported that are unsolved out of Hawkins County or Sullivan County, or it isn't that I don't trust.
You probably, I think the number that you would call would be the 1-800-TBI find, and I think that it would go through TBI first. But there'd be a lot of agencies.
I have no idea where that precious little girl is, but I did express my feelings that I thought she could or may allegedly be cremated and, excuse my expression, the way I'm saying it, but mixed in with the cement and put in the wall, and nobody will ever find her because they're going to see her in the resurrection.
Well,
but
I doubt Don will make it there.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm thinking to myself, you have to get there to see her. I'm sure Summer is in the arms of a higher power greater than ourselves, which Don, I don't think he understands how, the people that are listening to him, we have minds like a computer, and he's throwing all that garbage into our minds, into our souls, into our spirit. We don't need that. There are other channels that are much like that too and claim to be Christian, but they just don't get it. That, and if we do a replay, if we have grandchildren around, they're running around saying those words. It's not encouraging at all. I mean, that book that Don was reading in jail, I looked it up. It says right in that same book he read for 6 months or however long, he read it 2-3 times, he said, and it said to guard our lips. And, that means a lot. And there's other scriptures in there that apply to how other people are affected by the words that come out of our mouth. And I just can't explain it to him that he's got to stop that. Doesn't he have any other words to express himself other than F this and F that and F this and others? I mean, we don't want to listen to it, do we?
No, and when he is angry, he goes for it hardcore for sure. And that's just
what takes over something takes over these people that do that, and they don't realize that they need to at least work on it. At least work on it. That's all I ask. Work on it. And I'm sure there are other people out there that feel like I do about that, but they're almost afraid to say anything. But yeah, this case has been very puzzling, and I'm hoping and praying that the outcome will be justice for Summer. And I got a feeling it's coming soon.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and I'll take your enthusiasm and bright side thought process over pessimistic thoughts any day. We definitely need we need that for sure.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much.
I appreciate your phone
Bye
call.
for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I don't care what anybody says. I thought that was a sweet phone call. Caller, go ahead.
Josh Diaz, you have been a machine this week.
I know.
Cranking out the shows.
content. But you know, the late night shows that I've been doing have just kind of been, off the wall kind of stuff, and these ones have been just a bit more serious, and just normal. We're just doing our normal thing.
And you have been traveling to deal with stuff this week as well, so you have more appearances this week, I think, than all year.
I have been making the rounds. Yes, I have. I've been invited on a bunch of shows, and I always feel bad if I try not to turn anybody down for a show or anything like that. But yeah, I've been out there. I've been making the rounds, and
what a week.
The problem is I'm not trying to be the story. I don't want to be the story.
I know.
But sometimes, unfortunately,
really,
it
no.
happens.
I don't think you're the story, but
I don't
the
either.
negative. But they're making you, unfortunately. But look at the sources, Josh. I mean, come on. Most people, well, there are too many people that are looking at those sources, but not as many that are here.
Well, look, we have what we have done, not just here and not just the people that watch this show and not just me, but the foundation of everything has been rocked, and everybody got up in arms and took sides right away. Fair enough, but what I can't understand is, I understand people are very upset, and they think that I baited him and so on and so forth. I did nothing like that. It wasn't.
No,
I wasn't being nice.
That man, since day one, has set himself up, and if he's drawn into it, what happened to his own self-control? It's obvious he does not have it.
No, he uses the bathroom on lives.
Enough with that. Take personal responsibility. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. Take personal responsibility, DW. Really, I don't feel bad.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. But you kind of try and be nice, and it doesn't work.
It's just people have just been off the wall. I have never seen so much surrounding this case like this for a while. Not the actual case and dealing with, but all the garbage around it has been off the wall this week, in my opinion.
Right. No, it has been a very interesting. It's been a very interesting week and a half, 2 weeks, and
what a nice put it.
Yeah, it's just. But here's the problem. I feel like we're going to be back at square one here shortly.
Yeah.
Unless
I'm not.
Unless something shakes through.
it's funny you said that because I'm starting, and I know people want to be hopeful, and people say, why are they doing furniture? I'm kind of just like, I don't like having them back and all this back, and even with you reading the media manager letter, it's like,
Yeah.
none of it really answers the question. It's not all the work that was done on other missing kids around the country in terms of LE and stuff like that. It just seems like it's just such a circus surrounding it from day one that it is a little, I don't want to say depressing. It's, you just like, it might never, I do think it might not be fault. It could be one of those.
Yeah.
And it's because of all the crap. And they do seem to get away with so much. But who's to say? Like, I don't know anything about things like custody cases. And, we don't really know any of the evidence we're making. So I know it's bad. I'm sure it's bad. But
right.
It's just, it really is a lot of speculation because no one's giving us anything. I mean, it's been almost 18 months of, we don't think it's an abduction. We don't have evidence of an abduction, but we really don't have evidence of anything else. Basically, isn't that what it is? There's no evidence of evidence.
No evidence of evidence. That's true, But here's the thing. I'm not here to talk about the evidence because obviously we don't know what the evidence is. But what is evident is the behavior. And as for all these watchdog groups out there, tragedy pimp exposers, blah, 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 and they are the ones that go off of, hey, that doesn't seem right, or can you believe that person said that? That's exactly what I do and what many others do with Dawn and Candus. They say stupid stuff and they act stupid, and we call them on it. And then when you do it, people want to go, oh, my God, you're so mean to them. You're a bad person.
I haven't been to law enforcement in months.
Yeah. All right. So let's just play that for everybody.
The best line all week is, I don't want to talk about anything but summer, and this has nothing to do with summer. And then she goes off on everybody, and it's a total do as I say, not as I do.
Well, that's been the saying. That's been the saying for a very long time when it comes to this case. Is what's that got to do with summer? Now I can get behind that where you're saying, is it taking the focus off summer? Or how is talking about Dawn Wells and Candus Wells taking the focus off Summer Wells?
Well, that's the excuse they're using for enabling them and supporting them and saying we don't have evidence. So until then, we're going to support them. And it's like, I don't know. It is very strange. Since it is the first case I ever came to YouTube about, I didn't even know YouTube existed, so I don't have anything to compare it to, like the watch or anything like that.
Yeah,
it is really interesting. Yeah, so for me, this is really the only first experience in terms of this case. And I'm saying, like, the Idaho 4 didn't go like that. Like, the people, the police kept things close to the vest, but there was movement. For Michael Vaughn, there's been movement, not the resolution, but there's been movement.
It's moving.
Yeah, there's no movement in this, in my opinion, like in terms of, but again, you're right. We don't know what they know, but it seems like just as soon as something comes out, a week later, it's like, it's not the same anymore.
Well, think about it.
Like that information.
The new movements are by the parents. And they're crappy moves. They're stupid. They do stupid things. They say stupid things,
I haven't been to law enforcement in months.
Got a missing child, and you haven't been to law enforcement in months. Dawn thinks it's funny. Ha 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 ha. Tragedy pimp that.
That was really, really strange.
It's disgusting.
Like,
It was
this an
sick.
inside joke. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
He's like,
There's
oh,
an inside joke.
proud of her. It's weird, man.
Just whatever.
It's the weirdest thing.
It's been a long. Well, you've held your own. I have to tell you. I don't know how you're still on the air today.
It's what we do. It's what I
You-
do.
Built it and took care of business, because I would be like, I'm not going back on that, like my show for months.
Look, I've signed up for the
Because
fight. I've signed up for
yeah,
it, you know.
no,
and,
you've had a.
and I'm not gonna, you know, people say, oh,
Congratulations.
Josh, stop. That's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. I don't really take
Yeah,
requests like that.
Well, I want to say you were inspired this week, and you've really held your own, and
I appreciate
it
that.
wasn't an easy week to hold your own. And everyone needs to go. Well, I know you want to keep it private, but I did do the replay of your impressions with the one-liners. Oh, you survived 9/11. Oh, okay, classic Josh. Funniest thing I've heard, and it was such a perfect, exaggerated description of. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, somebody messaged me and they said, you know, my folk, or my dad was there, and she said the way that you pulled that off was impressive. And I was like, it was an extreme exaggeration of victim shaming, and I, I got my point across, I think.
Yeah, I don't know where you pulled that out of, but it was just spot on.
There's a lot of empty space up here.
That situation.
A lot of empty space rattling around, but Karen, I always appreciate your phone calls. Thank you.
Okay, well, have a good night.
All right,
Take
you
care.
too. Bye.
Bye.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh. My name's Lynn. I'm from the Midwest. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. I wanted to, I keep hearing and reading about the house being fixed up. And I would say it's such a small part of what the Wells need to be doing. I believe there's a CASA on the case, a court-appointed special advocate, and I'm a CASA, and a CASA is given more rights through the look after the boys, to look into the case. Don and Candus would have this whole parenting plan that it has been laid out for them, and we know they haven't done that. Classes, domestic violence classes, psychological evals, go on. And until they complete them, they're going to be non-compliant. It's time, because there's also a protocol on court hearings and then the Child Safe Act, that if the kids are out of the home so many months and nothing's been done, then it goes to the best interest of the children. And people that these guys going into their home, which they've done before, and are working on it, means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I personally feel as though this is an attention grab, that it's hey, look what we're doing here, and then when it doesn't work out and everything falls apart, it says we did what you asked, which is disingenuous to the 10th degree.
Exactly. I agree. And in the end, there's three things that can happen. Their rights can be terminated. Children can go back home, or they can stay in foster care for an extended amount of time.
So with your knowledge of this, what kind of, like, typically where you're at, what kind of timeline are you looking at here?
Normally in my area, it's a year. And then you're seeing, the judge would ask me what my recommendation was. And have a very solid
you're breaking up just a
report
little
done.
bit.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a
Within a year, I should have a.
Do you have a hanger? And can you
Go
stand
ahead.
on your roof outside?
That might help. It's cold out, though.
Okay, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
And there's lots of snow.
Okay, never mind. Stay inside.
Is this
You're
working?
okay. You're sounding fine now.
Okay. Within a year, I would have a very solid report done. I would have met with anybody and everybody that had anything to do with the children and the parents. CASA has receives more information than the caseworker does, the social worker. And I would know everything. I would all the facts together.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But I don't know if it's breaking up again. I'm sorry.
Just a little bit, but we got the gist of what you were saying, and wow, yeah. I mean, I've heard so many different timelines. I don't know what it is in Tennessee, but somehow I feel as though Summer's case does kind of hinge on the CPS case, because I believe she was a part of that case. And is a part of that case.
I do too. Yes. Yes. And I believe the boys are probably starting to talk. It's going to take the kids a good year to start staying. Himself was talking about their oldest having an extreme problem. And I think that's where the answers lie.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that psychologists are involved, psychiatrists, lots and lots of counseling. And I have always been under the assumption that the reason there's no rush is because they do feel that Summer has perished. This is my opinion, and that the searches aren't going to find her well. You know what I mean? And so
yes, I
they
do.
have to start working on their case. So that's kind of where I am with it. And if need be, if they can get some evidence of something to prosecute, because I believe in Tennessee you can prosecute without a body, but the problem is most of the time you would need a cause of death or so on and so forth. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. But were you listening earlier about the DA? Did you hear what the district attorney said? I played it earlier. I don't know if you were watching.
Yes, and it's weird. I've heard it in the past, but hearing it again tonight, I was like, yeah, wow.
Right. Well,
thank you for bringing that forth. Yeah, because I hear it in a totally different light now.
Yeah, it's just. And Candus could have been charged with tampering, with a witness, or obstructing a witness, or witness intimidation. I mean, this is a 13-year-old boy at the time, and she's saying, "What are you telling him?" And then TBI said, "Do not talk to her." How is that not a chargeable offense?
I think what is that kind of charge will eventually get tacked on, and it's not going to be the main charges. I believe there are charges coming down the pike. It's just going to take time, and I think that kind of charge is just put on the back end.
So that would just be something that they kind of sandwich in there somewhere.
I think so, and it will be part of it. I believe that.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean,
but I don't.
If you or I did anything like that, we'd both go to jail.
I agree.
So that's kind of.
I agree.
That's kind of what I'm like.
And
what are they waiting for?
Well, they went and charged her with it, now be in and out, and it could be probation or whatever. But if it gets tacked on to bigger charges, I think it will hold more weight.
Yeah.
And maybe it could get turned into a strong felony, and then the outcome would look different.
Right. Gotcha. Interesting. Well, I appreciate your phone call and your insight.
I had the answers.
Well, yeah, none of us do.
Well, you're welcome.
I appreciate you calling. Is this the first time you call? Your first time caller?
Yes.
First time caller. Love it.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, keep up the great work, Josh.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate you saying that.
All right. Later.
Bye-bye. Yeah, no, it's just fantastic insight. Thank you guys so much for being here. Tomorrow is the final show of the week, and we'll be gone Monday, back Tuesday through Sunday again. While we put some stuff together, we're still, the odd behavior continues. The strange sound bites continue.
Been to law enforcement months.
I mean, you want to ask Candus? You want to ask Candus who the suspects are? Well, I don't think Donnie would like that.
Man, I'm not 150% of chance of anything doing with this. I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. I have a lot of suspicion. I have a problem with Allie, Jose, Jody Sue, Andy, Donnie. I mean, I could list a whole bunch of people.
Hold on. Let me answer this question because Was Summer passed on to an elite deacon? What? Why would you even if that is an honest question, and I'm under the impression that it is an honest question, how the hell would I know the answer to that question? I don't even know what an elite deacon is. You understand? I have no clue. What is an elite deacon? The answer to your question is, I don't know. I don't know what an elite. Well, you said honest question. What do you mean you weren't asking me? Who were you asking? Well, guess what? You got your answer. I don't know what an elite deacon is, all right? Riley, you know what one is?
Sucker-mucker.
Riley doesn't know.
Rhinoceros.
I don't know. High-pitched Mike.
This is now a party.
Okay. Mike says it's a party. I don't know, man.
You're supposed to start about you. It's about summer. You I can tell. Throughout you. Oh, wow, bitch. I ain't gonna. All right, then. I wouldn't handle your ass, so, and I even protected your ass.
You didn't protect me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't go there. Don't even go there.
And as usual, we went into heavy detail.
I could go into heavy detail, and I will. And I will go into heavy detail.
Candus?
They just took Donnie away.
Y'all have a good night.
Who did?
The police.
They did? How come?
I don't know.
None of us do. Candus Hardwick gifts 1 membership. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
There is not, really? This to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
It's a rhetorical question.
But I had to put her.
It was an honest rhetorical question. I'm sorry for answering the question. Sometimes people throw things up there, and I read them. You know what I mean? My bad. Sorry.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
Not, really? This to me.
Thank you, Curse with Curiosity. Love Pink. Oh, wait. Sloan Bella, I don't know who that is either, actually mentioned it, and it was simply pondering it. Make fun of me all you want, y'all blind AF with the smiley face.
But I had to put her.
Yep, you're right.
On the side and worry about the boys.
How could you not know about the elite deacon? How dare you mock me? You're blind. There's an elite deacon out there, Josh.
Live from the NBD production studio.
But I'm going to ask you a question, but I don't want you to answer the question.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
Not, really?
I want to ask you a question, an honest question, but don't answer it, okay? All right. Sorry.
On the side and worry about the boys.
Good night, Suzanne. Good to see you.
But I had to.
Who wins the Super Bowl?
There is no investigation.
I hope they both. I hope they die.
F's and stuff.
I meant tie, not die. I hope they tie, or I hope they both win. I definitely don't want them to
But
die.
I had to put her.
Who is
On
Sloan?
the side and worry about the boys.
I want them to die. I really don't. I would never wish that. Although there's some ants around, I want them to die as quick as possible. And I didn't time it well again. You know, like it's one of those things. Like I didn't time the outro properly, and now I feel like a jerk because I was answering a question about an elite deacon. An elite deacon. Let's see. I say Chiefs 27-17. Better quarterback. But I hate football. Sucks. Sorry, S. We'll get back into your elite deacon question later. Stupid. Yes, it did. I don't care. Yeah, usually when people don't, they like, a lot of people ask questions without the question mark. If you're gonna ask a rhetorical question, make sure in capital letters, rhetorical, Josh. Please do not answer. Because when I see something that says an elite deacon, you kind of got my curiosity going, and then I go, oh my God, Alex Jones is watching the show. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Catch you next time.